Good morning, everybody. So we'll start off with our safety disclaimer. These classes and what I say are not medical advice. Please consult with your healthcare professionals before making changes to manage your health. This presentation does not represent Parkinson Canada's endorsement of products or treatment related to Parkinson's disease. This presentation is meant to provide general information. If you have specific questions about managing Parkinson's disease for yourself or for others, please contact info@parkinson.ca, or you can always call 1-800-565-3000. Good morning, everybody. This is your at-home workout class number 56. My name is Letain. I am the events coordinator for Parkinson Canada here in Winnipeg, Manitoba, and these classes are brought to you by Parkinson Canada and the Parkinson Canada Super Walk, which is on Saturday, September the 12th. It is September, holy moly. So yes, 12 days away, and we'll be celebrating the Parkinson Canada Super Walk right from coast to coast to coast, right across this nation. These live classes are brought to you every Tuesday and Thursday morning. That's at 8 o'clock a.m. Central Time, 9 o'clock a.m. Eastern, 10 o'clock on the Atlantic, and in Saskatchewan and Alberta, we are looking at 7 o'clock in the morning. In beautiful BC, it's 6 o'clock a.m. These classes are recorded, and you can find them either on the Parkinson Canada Manitoba Facebook group page. If you want to watch the classes there, you just have to like the group, you become a member, and you can find every single class that we've done on there for you to watch at your pleasure. You can also find these classes on the Parkinson Canada YouTube channel. Don't be afraid, subscribe, you can like the videos, give me some feedback. It's great when I can hear from each one of you. So yes, just briefly want to talk about some of the benefits of exercise and Parkinson's disease. Well, ideally, we all want to feel more in charge of our life. We want to have a better quality of life. We want to be more hopeful. And I believe that exercise, regular exercise, can give that to you. For those of you that are dealing with non-motor Parkinson's symptoms, and even that, those non-motor symptoms can be a bigger issue as we get older or as the disease progresses, and they're really hard to diagnose. So it's something that's from within you that you're going to have to be able to express to your healthcare professional teams or your caregiver. So I just want to talk about some of the non-motor issues. We have sleep disturbances. That could be both during the day. You're going to feel tired throughout the day, and you're going to have a hard time sleeping at night. With exercise, it can make a difference in your sleep patterns and your sleep disturbances. So maybe when it's getting on towards that time that you're typically taking a nap in the afternoon, maybe watch one of these videos, do some vigorous exercise, or get outside and go for a great walk, especially now. We got some nice sunshine around. Before too long, the snow is going to be here in Winnipeg. So yes, it's a great way to battle some of the sleep disturbances you might be living with. Constipation. Up to 90% of you might be dealing with constipation. And when you have constipation, of course, that can lead to issues with absorption of the medication that you're taking. There's going to be times where your digestive system is going to be full and loaded, and it's going to make it harder for the dopamine, if you're taking dopamine, to be broken down and distributed through your body. Also, when you're constipated, it can put pressure on your bladder, making it feeling like you're having to go pee all the time. So with regular exercise, and we're looking for more of the vigorous end of exercise, it's going to be moving things around. It's going to be getting the food that you've eaten and kind of getting it out to where we want it to be. We don't want it to be inside of us. We want it to be out and flushed away. Apathy, anxiety, and depression. Man, those are tough ones. I really feel for you if those are the symptoms that you're living with. They're hard to diagnose. They're hard to measure, like how intense they are. You know yourself better than anybody else. The the struggle of dealing with anxiety, apathy, and or depression. Good thing is though, with regular exercise, we get endorphins that are released. It's a hormone that's released, and when you have endorphins rushing through your body, you're going to have feelings of being happy, of feeling energized. It's kind of almost seems counterintuitive that you're giving off energy, but actually you're going to be getting energy back. So that's another benefit of regular exercise. You know, sometimes I talk about posture. Well, actually, I talk about posture a fair bit in our classes here. And I was watching a thing on PBS last night with posture and drooling. If we're leaning forward, it's natural that water or saliva is going to want to come out. So if we're thinking about our posture, sitting up nice and straight, the saliva that's in our mouth will be going down our throat where we want it to go, as opposed to drooling off the sides of our lips there. Of course, we also, at each class, I spend a little bit of time trying to do some facial exercises here, trying to loosen up the little muscles around our lips that kind of keep our saliva in our mouth. So another great thing with exercise. There's also cognition and executive functioning. We know that through exercise, there is a protein, a BDNF. It's a really long word. I'll just use the acronym BDNF. It's like a miracle grow for the brain. It kind of stimulates growth and development, and it's a great time. It's like your brain becomes a sponge to want to learn. So it's a great way to battle off any sort of the non-motor issues with cognition and executive functioning. Executive functioning is kind of decision making, and just think of a to-do list. Knowing how to make your to-do list and work your way down your to-do list. When you're exercising, you're given some clarity, and you're able to make decisions the way that you're used to making decisions. We also have, well, yes, I wanted to talk about symptoms. I didn't realize this, that a lot of the symptoms that you might be having with Parkinson's disease could have started 20 years ago in your life. So it's been a gradual progression and a buildup of before there's a clinical diagnosis. So there's no better time to start exercising than when you're younger. There seems to be some evidence that shows that there is a hereditary factor. So let's get our kids, let's start exercising with our kids, showing them that, you know what, if we're exercising properly, it's going to kind of push back on the symptoms that are progressing and developing. So yes, if you can exercise with your kids, that's a great way to be able to connect with them. So a couple quick questions here before we get going here. How much should we be exercising per week? I used to talk a lot about this before. Yes, so we are looking at a minimum of 150 minutes a week. Yes, minimum of 150 minutes per week. So if we break that up over 3 days, that's 50 minutes over 3 days. Again, but that's the minimum. So if we can get more than 150 minutes, let's take a look at maybe exercising 4 or 5 or even 6 days a week. It is important to rest, but it's also really important that we're getting regular physical exercise. And I'm talking more than just going for a casual stroll around the block. We have to be pushing ourselves. We have to be getting our heart rate up there. What kind of exercise is best for you? Well, that's a fairly personal question. The biggest thing I can suggest to you is finding something that you like, something that you're going to enjoy, so it's not going to seem like a task when it comes time to exercise. You can talk with your healthcare professional management team. So that means your doctors. You can talk with a movement nurse. You can talk with a physiotherapist, athletic therapist. They're able to prescribe some movements and some exercises that both you like, and then they'll show you how to do things safely. You can also use, there's athletic trainers. Yeah, they can be good. I would definitely, if you're looking at an athletic trainer, look for somebody that has credentials and has some experience in working with the active adult population. It's quite different than working with an elite athlete than it is with somebody who's getting on in life and are maybe dealing with some mobility issues, some motor issues and or non-motor issues. So put some time into finding somebody that's a good fit for you, somebody that's going to get you, somebody that's going to understand you, but also understands the science and the literature that's behind there to be able to support them in prescribing exercise and or games for you to do. Okay, let's get into some shout outs here before we get into our movement. We have a long list. I heard from a lot of people over the past weekend here. We have Audrey, Blake, Janet, Margaret, Kathy, Eric, Janet, Anita, Bev, Lori, Lynn, Ed, Jay, Susan, Donna, Joanne, Tracy, Krista, Robert, Haley, Holly, Julie, Connie, Nathan, Pete, Joan and Ken, Betty and Rick, Jean and Don, Karen and Robert. I told you it was a long list. Monique and Dave, Doug, Don, Blair, Cheryl, Lorinda, Arthur, all the way up in the Arctic Circle. Hello, Arthur. We have Joe Vancouverton, Raymond, Barbara, Elizabeth. Great to hear from you, Elizabeth. Victoria, Sylvie, Shirley, Louise, Cindy, Karen, Mike, Tequilma, Teresa, Moira, Valerie and Val, Michelle, Teresita, Teresa, Brennan, Chris, Ross, Anne-Marie, and Sheila. And I'd also like to give a great big shout out to the Parkinson disease patients in Calcutta, India. Great to hear from you. Love to hear some feedback how classes are going for you in Calcutta. All right, gang, let's get ready to exercise. So for today's class, you will need, if you have them, some soup cans or some cans of beans. If you have hand weights, TheraBands, resistance tubing. We will be doing some upper body exercises that will require us to have some resistance. If you don't have anything, that's okay. We can get away without it. So you know how we start off our classes each and every time. I want you to think about your posture. You're going to sit up nice and straight. You're going to pull your shoulders back. Align your chin with your spine. We're going to close our eyes. I'm going to ask you to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. In through your nose and out through your mouth. One more time, in through your nose, out through your mouth. Keeping your eyes closed, focusing on the here, focusing on the now, preparing to exercise, opening our eyes. We're going to breathe in through our nose, raising our hands above our head, and out. In and out. Last one, in, holding your breath when you get to the top. Hold it, hold it, hold it. And out. Okay, we know what comes next. We're going to do our slap, clap, and snap. That's going to be slapping our thighs 5 times, clapping our hands 5 times, and then snapping our fingers 5 times. We're going to go from 5 down to 1 and all the way back to 5. I'm going to try and keep things a little bit slower today. Just thinking of people that have their motor symptoms have maybe progressed farther than they wanted, and they're finding it really challenging to move. So throughout today's class, I'm going to try and make our movements slower and easier to follow. And that starts off with our slap, clap, snap. We're doing it slow. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. 1. 1, 2. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, I'm going to lose these glasses here because I know what's going to happen. They're going to get all foggy. So bear with me, gang. All right, I'm going to stand up, but you can continue to sitting down. We're going to start off with some shoulder shrugs. We're going to bring our shoulders up and down. Up and down. Up and down. Up and down. We're going to do one shoulder up and down, changing shoulders up and down, alternating up and down, up and down. Together, both shoulders up and down, up and down. Two more, up and down, up and down. Okay, from there, we're going to do some stationary heel taps. I'm going to move back to my chair so you can see. So, either from a seated position or standing position, let's think of our posture. Let's get our shoulders back. We're just tapping our heels. Nice and slow today. Tap, 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 and tap. Tap, 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 tap. Tap, 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 and tap. Tap, 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 tap. Changing feet. We're tapping our heels on this foot now. Tap, 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 and tap. Tap, 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 tap. Tap, 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 and tap. Tap, 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 tap. Okay, tapping our toes. Again, we're trying to do things a little bit slower today. Trying to meet everybody's needs. That gets hard. We know the disease progresses. That sucks. But we're going to do everything we can to battle, to have the best quality of life we can have, taking your medication regularly, and regular exercise. Tap, 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 and tap. Tap, 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 tap. Changing our feet. Tap, 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 and tap. Tap, 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 tap. Okay, standing still or sitting up nice and straight. We're going to do some waving. Waving with one arm, one hand. See if we get full range of motion. Waving with one hand. And now we're going to wave with our other hand. Getting our body ready for exercise, getting our mind ready. Slowly building up our heart rate to where we need it to be. Breathing rate's getting a little bit quicker, a little bit deeper. Okay, now let's wave both hands together. Alright, so from here we're going to do some heel taps. So if this can be done from a standing or a sitting position, I'm going to start off standing up and transition into a sitting position. So we're going to have one foot out and back, other foot out and back. Again, today's class we're going to try and keep things a little bit slower. Out and back. For those of you that need a more intense workout, you know what you can do. You can pick up the pace. Don't worry about interrupting the class here. Nobody can see you. Tap and back. Tap and back. Tap and back. Tap and back. Four more. Here's 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, gang. So that's it for our warm-up. Now we're going to transition into our cardio section here. So our cardio section, we're looking at about 15 to 20 minutes of continuous movement, and it's going to try and keep our heart rate up there. Again, today's class, we're trying to keep things a little bit slower. So if you do need to exercise a little bit more intensely, you can go faster, or you can have larger movements. Well, whatever you're doing though, let's try and have some fun. If you need to have a sip of water, now would be a great time to have a sip of water. Just make sure you put your water bottle aside. I'm going to start off sitting down here. So, sitting towards the end of my chair, sitting up nice and straight, shoulders are back. This is our go-to move. Our go-to move is our march. Okay, here we go. March, 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 march. March, march. March, march. March, march, march and march. March, march. March, march. Let's get our upper body. So, the more muscle groups that we have moving, the more intense it's going to be. So it's a great way to get our heart rate up. March, 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 march. Let's get some smiles on our faces. Full day ahead of us here. I got the sun just starting to peek up over the trees here. The 1st of September. School starts next week for my kids. And of course, Saturday, September the 12th, we are looking at the Parkinson Canada Super Walk from coast to coast to coast. I look forward to seeing all the pictures that you guys have, you've taken, seeing who you celebrated with, seeing where you walked. That way, if you can share them with me, and you give us the permission, we'd like to share them with everybody else, so that we can show that we have a nice, strong, and vibrant Parkinson community, that we're in this together. We're here to support each other. March, 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 march. March, march. March, march. March, march, march and march. March, march. March, march. How about we work on our Parkinson mask while we're doing this here? So, you know that Parkinson mask, it's kind of, people say there's no expression. It's because our muscles get tight and they get taut. And this becomes not frozen, but it's almost like a mask. So one way that we can combat that is by exercising muscles on our faces. So let's try great big smile. There we go. Keep that smile. Oh, my banner was falling back here. Parkinson. Yeah, let's get that big smile, that Parkinson smile. That's what we'll call it. No politician smile, we'll call it a Parkinson smile. Great big smile. March, march, march and march. March, march. March, march. March, march, march and march. March, march. March, march. Okay, let's get all serious about this now. See if we can make a frown with our eyebrows. Again, exercising the muscles on our faces. Continuing to march with a frown. All serious. Okay, back to normal. So we're going to do some wide wides and narrow narrows in 4, 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. Wide, wide, narrow, narrow. Narrow, narrow. Wide, wide. Wide, wide. Wide, wide, narrow, narrow. Wide, wide. Wide, wide. Okay, let's keep that going. This is really hard on your quadriceps, but of course, we want to keep our quadriceps nice and strong. They're the largest muscles in our bodies, and they're often the muscles that are most associated with keeping us upright, preventing falls, gives us locomotion, movement. So let's keep those muscles really nice and strong. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. March it out. Alright, gang. This is getting tough now. March, 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 and march. march, 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 march and march, 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 march. Okay, so we're gonna go for a little bit of a run, not too long. Again, today's class, we're trying to keep things a little bit slower and more purposeful. We still can challenge ourselves though. And this is actually challenging, really challenging for some people. So if you're able to keep up at this rate, and this is the best you can do, I'm honored to be leading you in this class, because you're doing everything you can. That shows courage, that shows determination, that shows commitment to yourself, and I honor that. Okay, we're gonna go for a bit of a run. Here we go. March, march, march and march. March, 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 march. March, march, march and march. March, 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 march. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slow it down. All right. So no arms, just our legs. Bit of a roller coaster. So we brought our heart rate up. We're going to bring it down a little bit, and then we're going to bring it back up. So no arms, just our legs. The less body muscle groups that we have moving, the less intense it's going to be. All right, so from here, we're going to transition into some heel taps. Here we go. Heel tap and back, back and back, out and back, out and back. It feels good to do this. We're still using our leg muscles, but we're using them in a different way here. Tap and back, tap and back, and back, and back, and back. All right, how about we add some arms into this? We're going to do some bicep curls at the same time. Here we go. Tap and back, and back, tap and back, and back. All right, how's that feel? Good, I hope. Tap and tap, tap and back, tap and tap, tap and tap. So we're going to build up just like our slap clap snap, where we went from 5 down to 1 and back to 5. We're going to do the opposite. So right now we're doing 1s. We're going to build up to 4, and then we're going to go back down to 1s. So that's going to be 2 times in one leg, then 2 times in the other leg. Eventually we're going to do 3 times in one leg, and then 3 times in the other leg, then 4. We're going to work our way back down to 1. If you find it too hard to coordinate the upper body movement with the heel taps, you can just do the heel taps, or you can just do these bicep curls. How about we're going to make it a little bit easier. We'll take away the arms for now. We'll add the arms in when we're working our way back from 4 down to 1. Sounds good, gang? All right, thanks for hanging in there with me. So here we go. 2 times 1 and 2. 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 1. And now we're doing 3. 1, 2, 3. Change it up. 1, 2, 3. Change it here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. Now we're doing 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Changes here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, get some arms now. 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, and now we're doing 3. 1, 2, 3. Change it here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. Now we're doing 2s. 1 and 2. 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 Now we're just going to alternate. 1 and 1. Tap and tap. Tap and tap. Tap and tap. All right, how's your heart rate? I bet you it's getting up there. But I also bet you're feeling good. Feeling better than when you first started the class. Tap and tap. Tap and tap. Tap and tap. Tap and tap. Okay, no arms, just our legs. All right, gang. So from here, we're going to transition into, we're going to try, it's been a while since we've done it, we're going to try the dreaded V-step. Yes, that V-step, it's hard, but if you stay at it, you will figure it out. Tap and tap, tap and tap. So basically what we're going to be doing is that we're going to be putting your right foot to the 2 o'clock position on a clock, and your left foot will be going to the 10 o'clock position on a clock, and then both your feet will be coming back to the 6 o'clock position where our starting position is. So I'm going to show you what it looks like, and then you can join on in. Here we go. 2, 10, 6, and 6. 2, 10, 6, and 6. 2 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 6 o'clock, back. 2, 10, 6, and 6. How about we add some upper body into this? This will be one of the last cardio moves that we do. We're going to finish our cardio off with a little bit of dancing, a little bit of waltzing. But before we go there, let's get our heart rate up there. All right, here we go. 2, 10, 6, and 6. 2 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 6 o'clock, back. 2, 10, 6, and 6. 2, 10, 6, and 6. 2 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 10. For those of you that need to work out a little bit more intensely, you can have larger movements, or you can have faster movements. 6, 6, but remember, nobody can see you. So you're fine, you're safe. 6 and 6. 2 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 6 o'clock, back. 2. All right, sorry, I just had to get the connection going right back outside. The trials and tribulations, yes, just started with a new internet provider, and the signal doesn't seem to be as strong as we would like it to be and or want it to be. Thanks for sticking with me, gang. Okay, so let's finish things off with waltzing. Swaying back and forth. If you're lucky enough to have somebody to waltz with, you're lucky. That's more fun. Waltzing. We're going to be bringing our heart rate down. Alright. So from here, we're going to transition into, we're going to pick some apples. So we're going to reach up and across our body, grab that apple, pull it down, reaching up and across our body, pulling it down. Up and across, bringing our heart rate down and down. Across and down. Across, down, across. And now we're going to reach out in front, pull it back, front, pull it back, front, pull it back, front, and pull it back. Now from here, we're going to do some shoulder rolls backwards. Oh, that feels good. Now let's go forward with our shoulder rolls. And backwards. Yes, that does feel good. And forwards. Alright, from here we're going to do some stationary heel taps. Tap, 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 and tap. Hope that cardio section was alright for you. It felt good to do it slow. Tap, 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 and tap. Tap, tap. Tap, tap. Tap, 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 and tap. Tap, tap. Tap, tap. Alright, so we just finished our cardio warm up, our cardio cool down, and of course our cardio. Now we're going to get into our strength training. As I said, we will need some hand weights today. I'm working with some black beans today. That's going to be my hand weights. And if you don't have anything, by all means, that's fine. You don't need anything. But it just adds a little bit of extra resistance there, which can be a good thing. So I'm going to readjust my chair. I'm going to readjust the camera just a little bit here, just to make sure that everything. There we go. A little bit better. All right, the first things that we're going to do today is that we're going to do our posture. Work on our posture. We're going to bring our arms up to the side and down, working on our shoulders. These are our deltoids. Up, 2, 3, and down, 2, 3. Of course, when we're doing strength training, that's ideal for us. If you're living with Parkinson's disease, we're going to be creating some muscle fibers here, some growth and development. It does get harder as we get older to create more muscles, but we can do that through strength training. The idea is you have more muscle fibers, more dopamine is going to be made available to our nervous system, more receptors working more efficiently to accept that dopamine. Last one, up to the side and down. Now we're going forward, shoulder height, up and down, up and down, up and down, up. One more, up and down. One more for good health. Up and down. Now we're going to go to the side. Again, let's think of our posture. Up, 2, 3, and down, 2, 3. The earlier that we can start exercising, the better it is. But it's never too late. It doesn't take long for a person to realize better quality of life that you can have through regular exercise. And it gives us an opportunity to connect, or for yourself to connect with others around you. And down, one more, up, and down. Now we're going forward, all the way forward, and down. Here's 2, put our hand weights away to the side. Don't want to have a tripping hazard. All right, so now we are going to work on just thinking of those non-motor symptoms and some bladder control. We're going to work on our Kegel exercise. So just think of that muscle that we use, kind of lifting your abdominal floor up and off the bottom there. That muscle that we use to stop the flow of urine when you are going to the bathroom. So that's a muscle that does get weak over time. That's a natural thing. But the good thing is it does respond well to training. Sometimes it helps to close your eyes to focus on finding that muscle. You'll lift your abdominal wall. Contract, hold it. Keep holding it. And relax. Alright, contract again. Contracting that muscle that we use to stop the flow of pee. And relax. Let's do it again. Contract, holding that muscle. It ain't sexy, but it works. And relax. One more. Contract. Hold that muscle. Keep it holding. We're going to hold it longer. And relax. I heard a good one the other day. As we get older, we're kind of like a vintage car. Our backsides begin to sag and fluids leak. Sad truth, isn't it? All right, now we're going to work on some chair crunches here. So I'm going to just show you from the side. So I'm working my butt towards the end of the chair here. So I got nice and straight, thinking about my posture, shoulders back. You can have your hands on your thighs, out in front, or across your chest. Across your chest is the most difficult way. In between is hands on the lap. Easiest way is to have your arms out in front. It seems to counterbalance your feet from coming up and off the ground. Thinking of that, try not to hook your feet underneath the chair legs. Then it's just your leg muscles. So we're leaning back with our shoulder blades touching the top of the chair and sitting up. We're working with our abdominal core here. Office jobs and you've been sitting 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours a day, our abdominal muscles become quite weak. So our back first will compensate. Let's make some back pause. 2 more. Back all the way. Up. Last one. Back. And we're going to stretch out, twisting your trunk to one side. Stretching the side muscles here. These are your obliques, your abdominal obliques. Nice, hold it. Twisting the other way. Alright, we're going to try 6 more chair crunches. If you can only do 4, you can only do 4. If you can only do 1, that's all you can do. If you can do all 6, let's do all 6. Back all the way to your shoulder blades, touch the chair, and up. Back. And up. Here's 3, halfway done. And up. And 4. Up. 5. And up. Last one. 6. Alright, we are going, there's no way we can get around it. We're going to do our sit-to-stands. If you can only stand an inch, that's okay. That works for me. So the purpose of our sit-to-stands here, we're really going to be exercising our quadriceps, the muscles on the front side, top part of your leg here. Also our glutes, so our butts, and our hamstring muscles, and our calves. So these are the muscles really associated with mobility, being able to walk, but also with preventing falls. So we like to try and keep these muscles nice and strong. I'm going to demonstrate the way I want you to do them. See if my legs are nice and wide as my shoulders and my arms are out in front. Sitting straight up. And then when I'm going down, I'm shooting my butt to back. So I'm not leaning over, it's just shooting your butt out to the back. All right, ready gang? We're gonna do 6. Here, away you go. Up. And down. That's 2. Here's 3. Down. 4. 5. And 6. All right. Wow. That was tough. If you're able to do all 6, good on you. That's not easy work by any stretch of the imagination here. Okay, so that's it for our strength training today. Now we're going to get into a little bit of our balance training. Again, we spent some time on balance, and if you're going to be looking at putting together an exercise class for yourself with your healthcare management team, make sure that there's going to be you're going to be incorporating some activities that are going to challenge your balance. Because when we're challenging ourselves, we're going to be getting learning, growth, and development. Okay, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to do our one-legged stand. I have a chair here to hang on to, provide me a little bit extra stability. Standing on one leg. Down other leg. Have your knee up if you want. You can just have your leg like that. Whatever's best for you works for me. Leg. You're going to do one more time each leg. If you want to, you need to. You can let go of the chair. It's nice to have around in case you need to hang on to it though. And down. Or maybe just having one finger on. Challenge yourself with that. Shift our weight to this side. So I'm having my hand on the chair. My toe is on the ground here. Move my chair back so you can see. Toe is on the ground. Shifting my weight this side. I'm going to shift my weight to this side now. Again, keeping my toe on the ground. Back to the side. This time I'm going to bring my foot up off the ground. If you need to keep your foot on the ground, by all means keep your foot on the ground. You can have your hand on a wall, that works for me too. Brain is sending signals down through my core, down through my quadriceps. My knee is wobbling, but that's okay. It's making those micro adjustments to keep me standing upright. That's what we're here for. And our brain is processing all this information, remembering all this information. So the next time that I'm off balance, I'm able to remember what I have to do in order to stay standing upright. Lean to one side here. Alright, it's time for our Johnny Cash. We're going to walk the line. So you're going to imagine that you have an imaginary line in front of you. You're going to place your feet one in front of the other. If you need to have your hand on the wall, if you need to hang on to a chair, or even have a walker or a cane, by all means you can use that. You're going to walk forward, one foot in front of the other. And back. Try and walk forward again. This time I'm going to ask you to freeze. Forward. And freeze. Holding it there. Those of you that are living with symptoms of freezing, you know how challenging it is to stay upright. Forward. And let's go back. I'm not going to get you to freeze going back. Walking all the way back. We're going to try and walk the line again, going forward. We're going to freeze and freeze, holding it there. It's like your feet are glued to the ground. Walking forward and freeze, keeping our balance. Forward. And again, the more we work at our balance and doing exercises like this, let's go back. It's good for us. Our body, our muscles, our brain are going to remember what you got to do in order to stay upright. Okay, so from here, how about we get into a little bit of stretching? We're going to start off with bringing our arms up nice and wide. This is called the chest stretch. Crisscross our arms, giving ourselves a bear hug. Let's see how far back you can get your fingers. Far out, great big chest stretch. Oh, that feels good. Crisscrossing our arms the other way. Oh yeah. One more time, great big chest stretch. Here, we're going to put our ear down to our shoulder, stretching side of our neck. Just a gentle stretch. Head to neutral position. We're going to drop our chin to our chest. Head to neutral position. Dropping our ear to our other shoulder. One thing I never recommend, position, is never look like bring your head back. Your spine is so fine when you get up towards the top of your spine there that you don't need to make it smaller. It's when you're going to get impingement going on. So going forward's okay though. Chin down to your chest. Into neutral position. Let's think of our posture. Ear down to one side. Neutral. Chin to chest. Neutral. Ear to shoulder. Now we're going to stretch out our triceps. So what I'm going to ask you to do, swoop up underneath. You're going to grab your elbow like this. You're going to bring your elbow in tight to your body. Bring it nice and wide. Back across. Bring your elbow in tight. Get into our Parkinson-specific exercises here. Move my chair a little bit closer to the camera. Thank you for sticking with me. Yeah, we had a little technical difficulties there where I lost my Wi-Fi signal and wasn't able to keep on continuing broadcasting. So for those of you that have stuck around, thank you. Okay, so we are first of all going to work on our eyes. We're going to open up nice and wide. Our little muscles around our eyes often get overlooked. Nice and wide. Now we're going to frown. Bring your eyebrows together. Nice and wide. And frown. Okay, now we're going to drop our jaw. Opening up our mouth. This is the muscles associated with chewing our own food. Great big smile. The Parkinson smile. I like the Parkinson smile better than a politician smile. There we go. Great big smile, gang. Opening our mouth nice and wide again. great big smile. All right, we're gonna work on our alphabet. Again, I suggest if you can do this in front of a mirror, do this in front of a mirror so you can see the shape of your mouth. Or better yet, if you're able to record yourself and you can hear, both not only see yourself, but you can actually hear yourself. And then if you need to make some adjustments or make some corrections, then you can make it. It's hard to be able to see what your face looks like or to be able to hear what you sound like at times. Okay, so we're doing our alphabet. Here we go. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. All right, we are now going to work on our tongue. So our tongue is associated with our speech. So we need to exercise that muscle as well. It's very important. So I'm going to ask you to stick your tongue out and up. Bring your tongue back in. We're going to ask you to stick your tongue out and down. Stick your tongue out and to that side. Now we're going to bring our tongue out and to that side. All right, we are now going to work on our fingers. So for those of you that have maybe been to see the doctor and they've had you in their clinic, they often are getting you to do this. Good thing is our body does respond well to some training with our fine motor movements here. So the more we can do it, the better it is. So we're going to do index, middle, ring, pinky. Index, middle, ring, pinky. Index, middle, ring, pinky, index, middle, ring, and pinky. That's it, gang. We wrapped up today's class. It's September the 1st. It's Tuesday, September the 1st. It's great having you in the class today. By all means, if you want to get a hold of me, it means a lot when I do hear from you. I try and get back to everybody that does reach out to me. So if you have any questions related to Parkinson's disease and exercise, or if you want to get some more information about Parkinson's disease, you can contact me and I'll try and get you the best answer, the most correct answer out there. And if I don't know it, I'll direct you to somebody that can give you the information that you're looking for. So yes, we are Saturday, September the 12th. So we're like 11 days away from the Parkinson Canada Super Walk. It's the month of September here. So it is a virtual walk this year. We are asking you, with the current pandemic, to try and avoid large collective gatherings and instead going out and celebrating Parkinson Canada, the Super Walk, with family and friends whose health you know is good, and in a neighborhood that you feel comfortable in and that you're going to be able to celebrate. We do have the Parkinson Canada Walk in a Box toolkit. It is a fantastic resource for you to plan, prepare, and celebrate the Super Walk when it does roll around. So you can you can contact me, you can contact my colleagues with Parkinson Canada, or if you have a direct relationship with your community development coordinator, they'll be able to hopefully get you that Walk in a Box toolkit to help celebrate Parkinson Canada Super Walk. So until Thursday, I'll see you in a couple of days. Take care, gang. Bye-bye.